Check my
Yes, we are.
Quick, make sure we are connected.
I'm getting a notification from Twitter.
Good.
And we should have a notification here on YouTube. Are you going to YouTube?
I'm waiting on it to pop up because normally they'll come on. Yeah, I just got
Okay.
Twitch.
Okay.
Got the
Okay, there's Twitter.
Or
no, there's YouTube.
I got YouTube. Okay,
YouTube.
Good. On all of them. Feel free to share this to your page if you want to as well. That's something else I have not thrown out there. Ladies and gentlemen, Belkey's Fantasy Football Leaders, it's your boy Tony D. I'm up here, my man, Fireman Rich.
Hey, how you?
TBS Sports, even though we are not affiliated, we just do this for fun. I apologize for not being here for those who may have been looking for us when we do broadcasts, for the record. There wasn't much going on in the offseason that I wanted to cover. I didn't want to take this beyond fantasy football season because people are going to be like, there's no fantasy. I already know. But damn it, we're going to talk football. We were supposed to have been covering the XFL. I'm going to be honest with everybody. I had nothing against their games. I had no real input. Let me take the glare off the camera because I am cooking breakfast. I know y'all going to talk about me, but I don't care. I'm hungry and I'm home.
Oh, it's your broadcast. Your broadcast, Tony.
And I'm home. So you're going to see a little bit of the man gut and all that craziness. Rich, if you would, the XFL coverage that you have been planning on for the past couple of weeks, would you please?
Well, I've been following it. The first couple of weeks I was watching all the initial games there. The first couple of weeks, and I've been a little lax, but I have been watching the box scores.
Yes,
and watching some of the game. The gameplay is good gameplay. It's solid. I just and Tony has mentioned this. I don't know the players.
Right.
You know, some of them I was like, oh yeah, I remember that guy. So I'm from my aspect, I'm looking at the XFL on an overall team thing, like I did with the NFL, because there's I'm not that knowledgeable on the players unless they're a highlighted player like a certain quarterback that's been in the news that will make Tony happy if he goes to the Jets. He'll talk about that here a little bit. But yeah, I've been we're in the 5th week, and I've been averaging about well, at least for the first 4 weeks, 3 at a 50%. Like I said, there's some good play, but it looks like the one team that is rising to the top is the Washington Defenders.
Right.
And they're 5-0 as of yesterday. They beat my St. Louis Battlehawks. That's the team I'm liking. They got a good logo that looks like the Air Force icon or something like that. But
good morning, Helen. How you doing, lady?
Good morning, Helen. And let's see, afternoon. She's 5 o'clock there in Scotland, where Helen is from. Good morning, Helen. Good to see you here. And so the football is it's there, but it's being a little overshadowed by another event that's going on in sports, and that's the NCAA National Champion College Basketball, which is very exciting. Just before coming on air, telling Tony here that you don't necessarily have to watch any games. You just look at the box scores every day, and you're seeing some upsets. The very first opening day for round 1, I guarantee you there's probably about 65-70% of the what are you munching on, Tony? It's breakfast time over here, Helen. Well, it's lunchtime. It's 12. He's having brunch.
I'm cooking some ham. I'm gonna scramble some eggs. Maybe a scrambled egg and cheese, scrambled ham, egg and cheese sandwich.
You know, that's what the missus had. What did you have for breakfast?
Corned beef and Swiss and an egg on an English muffin.
Okay. She had the corn. Well, I'm going to probably have a corned beef after a corned beef sandwich, but I had some English muffins this morning.
Tell us good morning, please.
Yeah, Tony said good morning. I always say good morning. Did you say good morning?
I know.
Don't choke now. No. He eats like I do, Helen. I just it's good food and stuff. So, but the football overall has been good.
Yes.
It's something to go to. We're going to have football going on even after the XFL and the USFL, and I'll probably follow it the same way. Again, the one thing that's overshadowing is the NCAA collegiate championships for the sports.
Bracketology time. Yes, it is.
Yeah, bracket time. Well, I think a lot of brackets have been broken because let's see, practically inhaling. Yeah, I'm hungry now. Get something to eat then, Helen. I had like 3 English muffins, and as far as that goes, so I'm pretty good set here until I have that corn. This past Friday was St. Patrick's Day here in the United States, so everybody had green on, drinking the green beer. I had a beer, but I had some green ice cream Friday. So, but we have the leftover corned beef for I had a good corned beef sandwich for lunch, and I plan on having one later here. That it's always good to have the boiled dinner there for St. Patty's Day here in the States. But we have one game, like I said. Oh God, let's see. I got you on. Okay, we're looking pretty good on the Twitch here. 720p.
Yeah.
It's good. You know, it's just like I gotta give it this restream. I was on earlier with Evux,
Yes.
and I looked at it was a 1080p production there, straight into Twitch, and I'm loving these platforms, Tony. They're freaking great.
I'm loving it too. I miss multi-streaming. I always emphasize it.
Right.
And I mean, there's no comparison to get your message out to as many people as possible. With as many opportunities as possible, I'm good with it.
Yeah, and like I said, today we got one NFL or XFL game, the Renegades against the San Antonio Brahmas, which is a bowl. Since I've been corrected, I make it a point to say that because first 2 weeks I was calling the chickens. And you look at their logo. Yes, it is a bull. It's a longhorn. That's down there in Texas.
Chickens.
But the Renegades are 2-2, and Baramas, the San Antonio's 1-3 and stuff. And it's St. Patrick's Day every day, everywhere. Oh yeah, that's true. That's true. I'm always looking for the leprechaun out there and stuff like that in the shrubbery. So Renegades are 2-2. The Baramas, San Antonio's 1-3. So even if they lose, because the top teams, like I said, you have in the XFL is the Washington Defenders at 5-0, the Battlehawks, that's a St. Louis team, and the Seattle Sea Dragons, which they really crapped out their first 2 games, but they coming on 3-2. So those are the next 2 tier, and then the Roughnecks are 4-1. That's what's Roughnecks? They're I think that's in Houston.
I think it is
Houston. Yeah, and I guess Bubba's who was the coach for the Dallas Cowboys before Bubba Smith or something like that? Was it
football player?
Yeah,
for the Cowboys was Wade Phillips.
Oh, Wade Phillips. Okay, Wade Phillips is the coach of the Roughnecks, which is good to see him on the sideline again and stuff like that. And so
that last game when he coached the Cowboys, that Monday Night Football game, they screwed him. Oh, I was so mad.
Who was the quarterback when he coached? Was it Staub? It was after Starbuck, right? It was White.
Wade Phillips was there, I think, right before Romo or when Romo got there.
Okay. Before Romo.
Michael Irvin was on the sideline crying. It was embarrassing. It was like they gave up on that dude. It was horrible. I was late to work the next morning. I was so mad. Because I was watching that game. And I was like, what are they doing? You could see it. They just would not play for him.
No. And it's a shame. I think he is a good coach, or else he would be. They wouldn't have brought him back in the XFL and stuff like that.
He was one of the Belichick prodigies.
Right. Okay. Oh. Okay. Gotcha. Okay.
He was with the Pep before he went to Dallas, and that last game, it was heartbreaking. He was on. So what are y'all doing? They were just like whatever. Oh yeah.
So the 2 divisions. Let's see. Like I said, you have 2 divisions in the XFL. You got in one division, you've got the DC Defenders are 5-0. St. Louis Battlehawks are 3-2. Seattle Sea Dragons are 3-2, tied in that division. The Vegas Vapors are 1-4. Vipers, I should say. In the other league, the division, the South Division, that was the North Division. The South Division, you got the Houston Roughnecks, they're 4-1. Arlington Renegades, they're 2-2 right now, possibly 3-2 or possibly 2-2 because they're going to play San Antonio which right now is 2-3. Now, if they win, they're going to be tied with Arlington, and then the Orlando Guardians, they're in the crapper. They're 0-5.
Yeah.
So that's a standing so far in the XFL.
Gotcha. Josh Gordon, he's doing good. Well, at least he got a touchdown already. The scores aren't high, which tells me they're playing good football.
Yeah, they're averaging anywhere from in the 20s to 30s and stuff. I haven't really seen a score that's outrageous, but if it is, if you go back, I guess on the games where DC's playing, I think they've had one game where they racked the table where they had like 40, 50 points or something like that. That's why I say the DC defenders, they seem to have the most. I have yet to watch them play, but just given the stats that I'm seeing and the scores, they're a monstrous team. Being any team that can be 5-0 in any league starting out, it's got to be got their act together.
That's how Salt Lake City was with the AAF before that league went down. Salt Lake City was going to be the problem.
Right.
NFL news.
Yeah, Tony's got the NFL news, and there's some interesting stuff going on, Tony.
Zeke got released from the Cowboys. What's up with that?
Well, here's my theory. Yeah, now, has there been any updated news since Thursday, Friday?
What I saw this morning,
right?
The Bengals are looking at him. I think the Bengals and the Bills.
Okay, let me run this scenario by you.
Mm-hmm.
Zeke, he had a very lucrative contract.
Yes, he did. I did see that story. Yes.
Okay. So they cut him. They don't have to pay him now. So he's a free agent,
Which is low down.
What if the Cowboys come back with another contract? They can re-sign him at a lower rate now. So is that feasible? That's something we were talking about at the day job here, Thursday, Friday time frame or something like that. But it just, I think Zeke wants to stay at Dallas Cowboys.
It makes total sense. And Emmitt Smith went off on.
Did he?
Yeah, Emmitt Smith went off. Look at who we got in the house.
Hey,
look at who we got in the house. I knew he was going to wake up for this. Get up in here. What's going on, man?
Well, what's going on, gentlemen?
Did you get a haircut?
I just shaved down the sides.
Oh, the sides. Okay, that looks.
Yeah,
that looks tough. That's look good. That's a good look. Good look.
We just finished.
I said, wait a minute, who's this guy? I know this guy.
Anything you want to give on the XFL yourself?
I was listening before I joined in. Man, I'm struggling to come up with an opinion on the XFL because I've watched. It's cool to see some names and faces in there, especially the coaches. There's a lot of as far as the NFL goes, there's a lot of Steelers guys in there, Pittsburgh Steelers guys. But I don't know if it's just because it's the first season or what it is, but the gameplay is just barely mediocre. We see a lot of goofy mistakes, a lot of, these guys are quote unquote professionals. Just a lot of things that you wouldn't imagine happening with bad play calling, bad plays being ran, and whatnot. But I think it's just because it's the first season.
That's not like it's the rookie season. I don't want to criticize them too hard.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And I think that I also had low expectations like last year for the USFL, but they came out and I thought it was phenomenal. And then I'm like,
would you say the gameplay is almost the same though? Or the USFL was better gameplay in the first year than
I think USFL was a much better gameplay. It was a faster paced game. It was more exciting to watch. There were a lot of big plays, and I think that set up the XFL, in my opinion, to be good. And it's not as good as I thought it was. But again, like Tony said, it's only the first season.
The first season, stuff like that.
Yeah.
I think they're doing pretty good. I don't have an interest to sit down and watch a full game like I did the first 2 weeks. It's sort of, especially with all the other stuff, especially the NCAA going on, and I'm questioning whether USFL is going to really do as good as we'll see if they stay the same because baseball's starting up pretty loose. So there's a lot of competition in the sports arena.
Well, yeah, I mean, in NHL's going on. There's still hockey going on. I know you said earlier, Rich, we're right smack in the middle of March Madness, and there's a lot of excitement going on there with,
oh God, yes.
the I mean, we've already had so many upsets. You know, Arizona losing, I know that killed 90% of people's brackets this year.
Oh, God,
Me,
yes.
me.
Yeah. You know, so yeah, there's a lot of this time of year. There's a lot of sports going on.
Yeah.
You know, I know we don't have the NFL, but there's a lot of stuff going on in the NFL behind the scenes and whatnot that we're all
Right.
wrapped up in.
Oh, that's surfacing to where we're just Tony talking about Zeke, and then you have the Aaron Rodgers thing there. Where is he? Is he going to finally be a Jet or what?
Yeah, is he going to be a Jet? Is he going to stay in the Packers? Is he going to retire? Is he going to go disappear into a cave somewhere and do?
I don't think I think he's got a couple years left. So,
I agree. I think he's got 2-3 more good years left in him. You know, just where is he going to land up?
Yeah. Well, hopefully the Jets. That would be good because we'll see what he can do. If it might be another repeat situation like what Brady did with I just throwing that out there. Will it happen? Probably not. But let's just throw it out there because I know there's some people thinking about that, especially some Jet fans. The traffic I've been seeing on Twitter, the fans I hear in New York State there that are Jet fans, and they're a little excited and rightly so. But it takes more than a quarterback.
No, it really does. And I'm pulling for Tony for Aaron Rodgers to go to the Jets. I think it'd be cool. The Jets started out really good last year.
Yes, they did.
But then they kind of fell apart.
Yes.
Now, if they get Aaron Rodgers,
the Jets, Rich, gotta have faith in the Jets.
Yeah. Now, if they get Aaron Rodgers and they get a couple key pieces that he wants, maybe 1 or 2 pieces that he wants, I would say that they're going to be a playoff team next year, very easily. They've got a lot of talent there.
Anything's possible before the season starts. Everybody's a possible Super Bowl contender and stuff like that. And whatnot. As far as NFL, what do you think about Russell Wilson there? Just finding out here the last couple of days that, maybe the reason he really crapped out this last season was because he had a very close mentor that passed away. And I never knew that. And to me, hearing that now, it might explain some of his gameplay. Do you think that might have been a factor in the season?
Honestly, I hadn't heard anything about that, but absolutely. I mean,
yeah.
I think what a lot of people don't understand with athletes, no matter what level you play on, whether it's high school, collegiate, or professional level, a lot of your gameplay is mental, and it doesn't take much. If something happens in your life, like you say he lost a mentor, that could shake somebody to the core. I mean,
very close individual. I don't know what the status was and stuff, but it's just like. Because I always thought, even when at the end of his career up there in Seattle, he was still a very good quarterback. And there was some Denver Bronco fans that were really excited about coming there, and he just shit the bed.
I think he's still a really good quarterback.
I agree.
I don't think Denver as a whole, I mean, you set aside if he was dealing with anything outside of football, personal like that, Denver as a whole is a train wreck of a team. I mean,
true, yeah.
And that's just not me just talking shit because I hate Denver, because I do hate Denver, but right now they're a train wreck, so
right.
It's almost one of those things. He's excited for Russ to go to Denver and see what he had and everything like that, but they're not looking at the bigger picture of Denver's a mess. You gave away a couple of your key players.
Yeah. The Broncos not being in the playoffs is inexcusable to me. Look at that team. I have to agree with him. That's why they're a train wreck. They were supposed to be in the playoffs. They were literally supposed to be in the playoffs. Russell Wilson, Jerry Jeudy, touchdown a game. Easy. Everybody else, fill in the blanks afterwards. They had some stars. I don't even remember all of them right now because I'm trying to cook. I'm hungry. But I'm just letting you all know. The Broncos should have been there.
Yeah.
Or at least been a wild card at the minimum. I'm not even talking about their competition. I'm talking about that roster.
But I think go ahead.
Oh no, I was actually trying to look and see something here real quick.
Go ahead, man. Yeah. I know you'll dig up some stuff.
Go ahead,
Please do. Please dig up all the stuff while I'm busy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just tweeted out your Twitch there,
Thank you.
so I got it out there. Yeah,
Appreciate it.
and but no, I think if anything, the XFL it's interesting to watch. I'll watch like a half of a quarter or something like that, and then I'll always have the score, seeing what's going on and stuff like that. It has my interest, just like the USFL will have my interest coming up here next month, as far as that goes and stuff, because I love football. The play, it's well, last year USFL and even this year in the XFL, it's right there. Maybe I don't know, some college teams. I think you could take some of the top college teams, and they might be able to contend themselves with these guys and stuff like that. Maybe.
Oh yeah, I absolutely agree with that. The way that they play and it looks, you could very easily take some of these top tier, whether it be like Alabama, Ohio State, Texas, Oklahoma, Michigan. LSU. They could easily contend with these guys in the XFL right now.
Right.
I like you said, Rich. I agree 100%. It's definitely interesting. It's fun to watch.
Yeah.
It's football.
Yeah,
I like some of the different rules and stuff like that they've incorporated. Replay. I love how they do the replay.
Yeah. Oh yeah, you're right. You're right there,
Yeah,
like
you're
a fly on the wall.
Yep. Exactly. You're hearing everything they're saying. You're seeing every angle they're seeing. I really like that. I think that's cool, and that would be.
And that's got to be the same process they go through in the NFL. I would imagine too.
I would think something similar to that, and I think it would be awesome if they could incorporate that somehow, some way into the NFL. Because as fans, I think that'd be a really cool thing to.
Oh yeah,
to see.
Yeah. But then again, you might have some teams take advantage of that, tapping it like.
Oh yeah.
Like some of the base. I'm not going to mention the baseball team, but the supposedly what a certain baseball team did as far as that goes and stuff. It's sports. What's that?
I'm talking about the Mets.
No, not the Mets. No. The Mets are a clean team.
Edwin Diaz messed me up.
And that's the other thing that's wild about the XFL is they have everybody mic'd up. And I think I've talked, Tony and I've talked about this on our show when we've talked football and stuff. That must be an absolute pain in the neck. And I think that's another reason that the gameplay is kind of at best sometimes. Yeah. Because you're literally, every coach is mic'd up. So when they're calling plays, you hear exactly what they're saying.
Yeah, with their proverbial words there, they misbelieve it.
So you have to change that up every single week, because who's to say that you got your next opponent who's planning for you and they're watching game tape. Oh well, they just got all your defensive and also offensive play calls.
Right exactly. There. Yeah. That's true.
They already know each other's plays. They've been accused of cheating and listening to each other for decades.
In the NFL, but now it's right there, and everybody hears it. Every week in the XFL.
They probably have a standard book that they're using that everybody knows, because even the commentators say, "Well, they're going to do this."
Yes.
From what I'm hearing, and sure enough, that's what they. So I imagine there's a standard play even from the NFL that they're taking and stuff like that, because I have heard Omaha on the
yeah, I've heard Omaha a lot on there.
You see, it's crazy. Everybody knows each other's plays. Everybody already knows football, because most of the players have been out there 10, 20 years apiece. So it's about who's the better player, and I have to give them credit for that. You can know any play, you can know any move, but can you match it? Right. And the scores are telling me that a little bit, just a little bit.
Right. That's true, Tony. That's true.
So I don't want to use that against necessarily. NFL wise, like I said, we had Zeke. I saw the Cowboys are trying to get Brandon Cooks. Okay. Oh, that was the other thing I heard about Zeke, Rich. The Texans are interested in getting him.
I think he's going to take a lower contract and stay as a Cowboy.
I'll give you that. Now, here's the scary part. Suppose he goes back to Cleveland. Go to Ohio State.
I've heard rumors about the potential of Zeke coming to Cleveland.
I think I heard the Bengals and the Bills too.
And in my thing, it's like the Bengals could probably pick him up, because
now one of those teams need him as a running back. No, they don't.
They don't know. They don't need him. But since he did just get rid of did let one of their running backs go, I think it was their second running back. But Cleveland, we don't need him. We got to get Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt paid.
Thank you.
There you go. Yeah, that's true.
Need him
And
because
I know they just made moves and they restructured Watson's contract and freed up like 36 million into the salary cap.
And when he got over there, so they said they were going to do that. Yes.
Yeah, and I know that there's so much talk with Cleveland that they're interested in Brandon Cooks. They're interested in Elijah Moore from the Jets. They've also talked and went and watched OBJ, talking about bringing him back.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
And I wouldn't be mad at that at all. I like OBJ. I like OBJ. When he was in New York, I was excited when they traded for him.
Right.
I was a little aggravated, but also at the same time, I was aggravated at both sides, at OBJ and at Cleveland when they traded him to the Rams.
Yes.
Okay.
Sorry, you were getting the ball, but you weren't doing anything.
Yeah.
But I would be excited for him to come back with Amari Cooper on one side, him on the other side, Donovan Peoples-Jones, and Deshaun Watson throwing the ball. Yeah.
That would be cool. That would be cool. But as far as Zeke coming to the Bills, the Bills, they enjoyed the hell out of having Bixby.
Yeah,
he contributed. So, I don't know if they really need him Bills need another running back, but I don't know. It's just, because I don't think he was good as who was the other running back there for the Dallas that was better?
Tony Pollard. He's about to be the man. I kept telling everybody.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. He, Zeke had, he's a solid runner and stuff like that, but it just seemed every time I'm watching the Cowboys play, they're trying to run him up the middle and he's hitting stone wall and stuff. You get two or three, you're trying to run it up the middle, just change it up and run around, the end around or something like that. It just, I've seen so many of that, if the other team has their freaking offensive line, they're going to stop that run up the middle.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's what I was almost wondering this year is if Zeke actually started to kind of fall off. Maybe he doesn't have what he used to have anymore because
it could be true.
And run the ball all over the field with ease. So you can't say, oh, well, Dallas's offensive line wasn't protecting or opening up holes or anything like that. That's
a good point. Yeah,
because he started to kind of fall off a little bit because when he first came in the league, he was an absolute monster. And Ohio, I'm not an Ohio State fan. I'm a Michigan fan, but being from Ohio and watching Ohio State football, Zeke was an absolute monster when he played at Ohio.
In college, yes, he was.
And he was an absolute monster, and and that's how he was when he first came into the NFL. But it seems the last couple seasons, especially last year, he's really kind of taken a step back. So I wonder if that's more on him or if it's something going on in Dallas, because we all know Jerry Jones and his bullshit with his shenanigans. Players get tired of being there because they don't get paid.
Now, you bring that up, okay? Jerry Jones, he's out there in the forefront with the drama and stuff like that. And we're not really. I'm wondering if that's what's going on in Green Bay with Aaron Rodgers. There's some drama, but we're not seeing that from the Green Bay front office and stuff like that. But according to Aaron Rodgers, it might be there. Oh, who do we got? We got Sunday Night Smoke. Salute, fellows.
Smoke is good.
What's going on, bro?
Whack Prescott.
You got an invite to Smoke. I sent you a link as well.
We killed it. Whack Prescott. I like
Whack Prescott. That's fun.
Hey, Dak's a good quarterback, but for Dallas, I mean, last season when he got hurt, they showed that they got a backup at Cooper Rush, and he could be a starter. I mean, that boy.
I don't know if he'll last the whole season as a quarterback. I don't.
Well, I mean, that's yet to be seen or yet to be determined. But I mean, he came in there and played when Dak was injured, and he balled out, man.
He played well. He played very well. But will he endure a whole season's next test? I don't disagree with you. I just don't know about his duration. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, I mean that goes with any. I mean, you can say that about any athlete in any position. Can they? Because you never know what's going to happen from one Sunday to another. I mean,
agreed.
Very few quarterbacks have been able to go their entire career without injuries or very few injuries. I mean, Tom Brady, I think he only had what, one, maybe two injuries in his 20-plus year career.
He only had one season-ending injury his whole career that I remember. One.
Yeah. But no, I mean, I think Zeke will go somewhere. Like Tampa Bay, they just lost
Cameron
Fournette.
Brate went for Fournette. Yes, I did read that too. So the door's open for them. Jaceki just went to the Patriots. I saw that this morning. See, now the story's coming back to me. Because I was.
Oh, did he really?
Yeah. Jaseki's going. Get a chance. It's on ESPN. It was on ESPN this morning.
So what does that do for Hunter Henry?
Open the door for him to run it. Well, it's a 2 tight end offense. They started doing that after they had Cam, and I noticed that about the Patriots. They're starting to run a 2 tight end offense. Not necessarily both just blocking, but I think both of them could be the option to be receivers.
Oh, absolutely.
So that's a major threat, which helps out the quarterback, which would have been Cam, but now was Mac Jones. I think, and New England wasn't that bad last season. So they're going to be a threat again. In my opinion, the AFC East is a problem.
Oh, that's true.
The AFC East is a problem.
Didn't New England just barely miss the playoffs last year?
Yeah, they just barely missed the playoffs.
Yeah, barely. Yeah,
in there. They were looking like how the Giants looked back in 07, 08.
Okay. I'm just looking at something now. Who starts in April? That's a USFL, right?
Yeah,
that starts.
USFL, XFL will have their championship,
and then it's USFL the second year, right?
Yeah. Then basically,
have they changed up their whole?
Yes, I am, Smoke. I'm cooking it. Yeah, I'm streaming and cooking. Hey, yo, I'm gonna do a glick. It's mine.
No, this is the
XFL. If I want to.
This is their second year, right?
Well,
or the USFL is going to be their second year, right?
Yeah, the USFL. This is their second year.
Have they changed up all the teams again?
They didn't change up.
Because I don't see Birmingham in any of these teams. Birmingham won the championship last year.
Well, let me cut. I think the AAF was last year. I don't remember the USFL playing last year.
You're right.
They
I got I got 2 sandwiches sitting on deck.
No, they dropped. I think they dropped Birmingham and picked up the Memphis Showboats.
Okay, so I'm looking at. Okay, so
they did, however, change. There's 8 teams, so there's 4 cities that are home hubs for 2 cities. Like I think the Pittsburgh Maulers and the New Jersey Generals.
Okay, what am I looking at here? I'm looking at the U.S. United Football League, and they have the Pittsburgh Pioneers. Am I looking at the wrong freaking page?
Maybe you're looking at the wrong page. Yeah, because we got the
it's USFL, right?
Birmingham Stallions.
Oh,
New Jersey Generals, Houston Gamblers, New Orleans Breakers.
Okay. I'm looking at the wrong. There's another United Football League here. 34 days. So this is I just put UFL, USFL. Okay, that was the okay. Okay, go ahead. I'm sorry.
But yeah, they changed it up where last year they played all their games down there in Alabama. Now you have 4 host cities that will be the home teams. I think it's Pittsburgh and the New Jersey Generals are playing here in Ohio. Their home stadium is the Hall of Fame Stadium.
Okay, I was on the wrong page here, guys. I'm sorry.
So let me see if this will tell me what I want to know. New season kicks off April 15th. The host cities are Detroit, Memphis, Canton, Ohio, and Birmingham, Alabama.
Yeah, they're expanding out to where it's not going to be at one location. I think that's good because where the XFL, I was telling Tony before, Glick there that I watched the last night and then last weekend the St. Louis Guardians and or Battlehawks, I should say. Their stadium is packed. It's like they have freaking NFL. And I was just amazed at compared to last year's USFL, where down in Birmingham, depending if Birmingham was playing, the stands were packed, but any other teams, they were like, they weren't really interested, I guess.
Yeah, no, exactly. I know a couple weeks ago I was watching the DC Defenders, who just seem to be running the league this year. I think they're the only.
Oh yeah,
undefeated team.
5-0. Yeah.
I was watching them play. I think St. Louis, in DC, stadium was packed. The fans were having fun, and I was like, "Damn, okay, so they're filling stadiums." But I was even thinking that myself. It was like, last year it was hit or miss with the USFL. As far as they would have a lot of fans and stuff in the stadium. I'm curious to see with introducing these four cities as home hubs for two teams apiece, what kind of attendance you're going to get and what it's going to look like.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be awesome. I'm going to try to go to a USFL game this year since it's
if I had an opportunity, I'd go to one too. Also,
right up the road for me. Right up the road in Canton. So
he's playing. Oh, okay. Yeah. It looks like let's see, when's this? The first week for the USFL, okay, get that right, is Saturday, April 15th, and we got the Philadelphia Stars against the Memphis Showboats, which you say that's a newer team.
Yeah, it's our debut team.
And then you got the New Jersey Generals against the Birmingham Stallions and stuff like that. And again, Birmingham was the one that won the championship last year, I believe. And then that's a Saturday, and then Sunday you have Michigan against the Houston Gamblers and then the Pittsburgh Maulers against the New Orleans Breakers. And here's the other thing: Fox and was it NBC and FS1 are the channels that you can watch these on. Where this year for the XFL it was ESPN, ABC, and there was another network.
FX. It's USA.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Which I think that right there, it seems like there's more exposure for the teams with the television.
Well, yeah, I think that's the big thing for both leagues, XFL and USFL is they're getting TV time. They're getting promotion. I mean, the NFL is promoting USFL football.
That's fabulous. I love that. That's great.
I mean, there were guys that played in the XFL last year that were in the NFL this year. I think a couple guys were in the Super Bowl this year that played in the XFL last year. And then they were on Super Bowl teams this year. I think there was one or two guys. But I know there were guys in the league this year that played that, they watched them ball out in the USFL last year. So that's the other cool thing about it. You see a lot of guys who may have missed the opportunity or may have gotten injured in the NFL and didn't get quite the chance to play. Now the NFL is getting an opportunity to see them play again and potentially reevaluate them and bring them back, which is really cool, in my opinion.
That's cool. And we have my little bit, Debbie's in there. She's saying hi, Tony, and she's saying hi, Rich. We're doing good, Deb. Hope you're doing good.
Thanks for coming through. I want to I can't. We did it. Good. Cover Zeke, Brandon Cooks, Browns, Bengals, Bills, Jets, Cowboys, Tampa Bay. Baker Mayfield's going to Tampa Bay, right?
Tampa Baker.
Yeah. Go ahead, Cook.
Let's talk about him. Oh wow, that's the other thing. Yeah, good point, Tony. Bringing that up. That's a good subject.
I don't care what anybody says. That's my guy. That was my guy when Cleveland drafted him. I was mad as hell when they gave Deshaun Watson all this stupid amount of money and got rid of Baker Mayfield.
Click. I'm not even a Cleveland Brown fan, and I was pissed. Yeah. It's like, what the hell are you guys doing?
Yeah, I was so mad. And then I was like, all right, go down to Carolina. You're not going to get your revenge game. Cleveland's going to beat Carolina Panthers, but I want to see you ball out. Then he got hurt. Then he goes to the Rams, and I'm like, there's Baker. And I was actually because I listened to radio down in Tampa. I listened to a radio station down there, and they're getting pretty excited. And the host of one of my favorite morning shows, he had posted a thing on his Instagram, and I had messaged him, and I was like, hey, man, if you guys get even a quarter of the Baker that we had in Cleveland, you guys are going to be you're going to have a nice replacement for Tom Brady down there.
I really think he has a lot of potential,
Absolutely.
And I saw that in Cleveland. He tried in Carolina, so maybe Tampa Bay might be But he's come a long way since his college days, and that's what I'm impressed with. He's a solid player.
Absolutely. And I mean,
go ahead. I'm sorry.
a lot of people kind of said, "Oh, he's undersized for a quarterback." This, that, and the other thing. He's not going to take off and run like Deshaun Watson or even like a healthy RG3 back in the day, or guys like that. But when he does run, he runs his ass off. I mean, he's a strong guy. He makes good moves. No, I think and Tampa's got weapons for days. I mean, in their wide receiver core, they've got weapons for days.
And I have to say the same about Cleveland. Y'all got weapons. Y'all got an armament like G.I. Joe, and y'all looking like every loss against Cobra. I don't understand this mess. Y'all got everything. It don't make no.
There's the G.I. Joe analogy.
Yeah, I said it. All them weapons and all them people. We knew all their names, and they ain't winning. It's always a stalemate.
I think last year was kind of a clusterfuck for Cleveland. I had to eat my words. I said it before the season started. Tony and I were talking. Mm-hmm. I wasn't too excited about Jacoby Brissett starting for us. But halfway through the season, I was like, fuck Watson and leave Jacoby in there.
Yeah.
Well, Jacoby just killed us with
he wasn't going to be
bad mistakes at the wrong time.
Yeah, his rookie season wasn't going to be the best, but I know Deshaun Watson ought to be a problem next season. He really ought to be a problem a major issue to the entire NFL next season.
And I think we've seen that with Deshaun Watson missing basically 2 years of football, 2.5 years of football. Every game he progressed and got better and better. Every game.
Yes, he did.
So what is he going to be like next year? If Cleveland ain't winning games next year, I don't know what the hell they need to do at this point, because they should be absolutely running the AFC North next year.
But Baltimore shouldn't be a problem. Cincinnati is an issue. I'm going to say Cincinnati is an issue because they got a team, but I keep saying they got exposed. I hate it for the Bengals. They were supposed to go back this season based on the previous Super Bowl. They have a team. They got exposed. They don't suck. They're not weak. They can't play. They've got stars. You're good, Rich. They've got everything in play. They lost.
Yeah, no, I agree. I
mean, to Kansas City. Was it Kansas City?
Lost. It was Kansas City. Yeah,
they lost bad.
Yeah, they got smoked. Cincinnati, looking at it as a Cleveland fan, they're really not a problem for us. I mean, Cleveland's 5-1 against Joe in the Joe Burrow era. I appreciate the share.
Thank you for that. Cleveland has a team. Cincinnati has a team. Ohio football is looking real credible right now.
Absolutely, on paper.
On paper and on the field. Even the game they played on the Steelers last season. Remember, I told you. I said I know what I'm seeing.
And Cleveland's not getting blown out by anybody. I mean, a lot of those games that Cleveland lost, they didn't get beat by the opposing team. They beat themselves. You
can say that. You can say
but
that.
But I will give them credit. They have beefed up the defense in this offseason. They're putting a defensive line together that's fucking mind-blowing right now.
I heard. Let me pull up stories.
Well, I'm looking at a story here, Tony.
Talk to me.
Back in the chair that, and I'm just reading the headline: CBS Sports 2023 NFL free agency. Odell Beckham out of the Giants' price range. So the Giants were looking at bringing Odell back.
Yeah.
Wow.
Right. For like a hot second, they looked at it and then.
Okay, so it was real okay because. Like I said, I hear that he's going to be leaving L.A. That's just he's a free agent. Basically,
I've heard that too. I don't know about that.
I think for Odell this year coming up, any team that signs him, it's going to be a 1-year deal. The last couple seasons, he has been very injury prone.
Yeah.
So they want to make sure he can stay healthy before anybody commits to a long-term deal. He wants a long-term deal. But he has to understand with your injuries and stuff like that, especially that injury in the Super Bowl. He's just now coming back from it, or over a year later, where they're saying he's 100%. So I think any team that comes to him, that's going to be a 1-year deal, just to see if he can stay healthy and everything like that before they go long term.
Yeah. And there's a lot of teams doing that 1 year deal just because they don't want to put all their eggs in one basket. This is like, okay, we'll give you 1 year, and then,
Go.
if you do perform, you get the bonus as far as playing a little bit longer at that team.
Well, that's what Tampa did. I think they gave Baker a 1 year, 8.5.
Yeah. 1 year. I heard that too. Click.
8.5 million deal. Which, I mean, if he stays healthy, I think he'll ball out, and he might be a Buccaneer for many years to come. Which not a bad scenario for Tampa Bay. Baker's still young.
Yes, he is.
Yep. Oh yeah. I'm rooting for. I'm not a fan of the team, but individual players I like to see get their just due, and I think he was a little rowdy in his college days, I guess.
Oh yeah,
what they're saying. But he simmered down, and you saw that at Cleveland and stuff like that. And it just, I'm rooting for him.
Yeah.
He's one of the players I'm rooting for. I'm rooting for Aaron Rodgers. I didn't like him as a Green Bay Packer, but if he leaves and goes to the Jets, I'm going to be rooting for
You
him.
sound like me when Brady went to the Bucks. I didn't like Brady when he was with the Patriots.
I did. Same scenario. Yes, exactly. Same
He
scenario.
raised his stock value by leaving New England. Ain't that something?
It's like I could not stand him in the New England.
Exactly. I'm sitting here trying to see what's on the news out there, in case I missed anybody. Cowboys acquiring Brandon Cooks and trade with the Texans.
Yep, I'm seeing that too, Tony.
Yeah,
yep.
I'm on-
Cowboys get Texas Brandon Cook for NFL trade splash or something.
I'm
like that,
on
according to you.
NFL.com. Rich, if you could check CBS.com and Glick, you normally look at Yahoo or ESPN.
The New York Post has something about that last there.
Good.
Yeah, they're saying Brandon Cooks is being traded once again to the Dallas Cowboys. Announced Sunday that they've acquired Houston Texans wide receiver for an unnamed return. According to NFL Network's Ian Rappaport, the Cowboys are sending a 2023 fifth-round pick and 2024 sixth-round pick to Houston in exchange for Cook.
Yes. Yeah, that's what I'm about to say.
Here's the thing.
I'm reading that on
Now, here's
NFL.com. Where you reading that at?
Yahoo.
See,
Okay, you're on Yahoo. Rich is on CBS, and I'm on NFL.
CBS, the big thing on the headline there that I'm looking at, Brandon Cook dealt for fourth time in his career.
Yeah, it's tied to record.
And they're talking about giving Dallas ideal speed threat, a speed threat. So
He's fast.
This literally just posted 2 minutes ago on Yahoo.
Yeah, I got it in 9:56 a.m. today. The story I'm reading, 2023 fifth round, 2024 sixth round. Cook's journey to the Cowboys comes after tumultuous 2022 season in Houston, during which he expressed his unhappiness. I don't blame him. He wasn't getting the ball enough to me. He led the team in receptions, 57 receptions at 699 yards in 13 games, which is nothing, and 3 touchdowns. Now, he'll be 30 years old. He's a vertical deep threat. He's going to open up scoring.
Yep.
Yeah, he's going to open up the field for Gallup and Lamb. And Dak Prescott will benefit from him. This is true.
Oh, he'll absolutely benefit from him.
Every team's secondaries had better step it up based on this move. Now we start thinking like coaches, managers, and owners. Your secondaries need to pick it up with these 3 on the wide receivers, which means the running game is going to be open again for Pollard. And I think Dalton Schultz got traded too, didn't he? The tight end for the Cowboys. I saw something on him the other day.
I'm not seeing it.
I don't know. I haven't seen anything about that. I do have I don't know if you guys have talked about it yet, or I got three quick hits for you guys. Quarterback situations.
Go.
Okay.
What's your opinion? Jimmy G to the Raiders, Derek Carr to the Saints, and Marcus Mariota signed by the Eagles to back up Jalen Hurts.
I saw that Marcus Mariota. That's interesting to me. I find that to be interesting.
The first two I find real interesting as far as hopefully, because Las Vegas, they after, Carr going where he went, is Carr, right, for Saints?
Yeah, Derek Carr.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm pretty excited about that because the Oakland games I watched this last season and stuff, I could see some frustration in him in his playing. I think he had some frustration this last season, so I think he's embracing the fact that he's a Saint now. And he's looking forward to it. And the Saints, they're not no slouches. They're a good team.
Same type of offense. Same type of
Yeah.
offense, in my opinion.
Now this other guy, the third one, who's the quarterback?
Marcus Mariota. He was a starter for Atlanta last season. But
Okay, see, I don't
the
really. Okay, you
Eagles
saw
signed him
him
with
play then. You saw him play then, Tony. I'm
I
not
saw him
familiar.
play.
Much
I knew
with
about Marcus Mariota when he got drafted. He was a good pocket quarterback. He wasn't much of a mobile quarterback. He got injured. He used to be on the Titans. Then he was on the. He went to the West Coast. Where was he at when he was on the West Coast? He was with the Raiders. He was a backup on the Raiders.
Yeah,
Then
he
went
was.
to the Falcons. Now he's going to Philly. He can back up Jalen Hurts. I think he'll be a decent backup for Jalen Hurts. For a lot of the standalone mobile play that they may do, he'll be
Right.
fine. He started trying to run that ball when he was in Vegas, so I think he's back to 100% of himself. When he got injured in Tennessee, it changed him. He's a
Yeah.
good quarterback. He's just a pocket quarterback. So
Yeah.
we're going to get him if you got a high-powered offense. If the Eagles have a line, they're going to be great again.
Right.
They're going to be great
Well,
again.
that brought him to greatness through the whole season. Was their line?
Yeah. So if they got a line, he'll be fine there, and that's a good move. You said Derek Carr to the Saints. I'm good with that. What was the first one you had?
Garoppolo.
Yeah, Jimmy Garoppolo.
I
went to the Raiders.
thought he was going to stay in San Francisco myself. I
I can't
really,
believe they got rid of him.
same here. I think he's a quality quarterback.
I really thought that San Francisco would try to keep him, but they're kind of putting all their eggs in, as you said, Rich, all their eggs in a basket with Trey Lance. Yeah, now they've got that Brock Purdy kid who, the way he played, he might become the starter next year, and Trey Lance might be the backup. I think it's fantastic for Jimmy G to go to to Vegas, because there's no question he's their guy. He's going to be a starter, and he should have been San Francisco's starter from Jump Street. There should have been no ifs, ands, or buts about it.
Well, he has been.
And the Raiders have got some weapons. Now, they did just get rid of Waller. They did get rid of Darren Waller.
They did get rid of Darren Waller, but it's the 49ers had Garoppolo. He had his chance. He got to the Super Bowl. That's why I'm shocked. He is one of your Super Bowl quarterbacks.
Yeah.
And you got rid of him.
Yeah.
Jesus. Now, his time is not up.
No.
The team plays fine with him. Let's be clear. And I told Good this all season. I told all of you. Rich was there too. They was already a Super Bowl team, and then you picked up Christian McCaffrey. Their asses were supposed to be going back.
But the thing that kills the San Francisco 49ers, and I don't know if it's something in the water out there or what it is, they cannot keep their players healthy. I was surprised that Christian McCaffrey went out there and stayed healthy pretty much the whole season.
They hit that hard. Kittle didn't even get hurt all season.
Mm-hmm.
And Kittle's good to get hurt for half a season.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that playoff game, that it is like they just felt, it's like, is this a San Francisco team?
Exactly.
They literally had no quarterback in that.
Exactly.
Yeah. I mean,
we talked about that too. I said they're going to take one of the quarterbacks and it's going to be over. And it happened.
Yeah.
It happened.
Very true.
Mariota to the Eagles will be good. I just saw this story. Hang on. Throw this up. This is actually scary and painful at the same time.
But what's that? Oh, you're bringing it up. Okay, here we go. Presenting.
Dalton Schultz and C.J. Gardner-Johnson still makes sense for Bengals in free agency. Let me find out. Isn't C.J. Gardner-Johnson? Oh, he's an Eagle safety.
Yeah.
So you're taking somebody off the Eagles defense and Dalton Schultz to the Bengals. I just said the Bengals should have been there. And now you're going to pick this up. This is actually pretty heavy to me.
Hey, Tony, Dalton's my guy. That's my guy right there. And if he
Good guy.
he could be an absolute nightmare in Cincinnati.
Yes, he could.
An absolute nightmare.
Cincinnati really has a great offense. I just gave them all their props. Now you're going to pick up these two? That's a run to go back to the Super Bowl. And they deserve to go back. Them boys need to be going back for revenge. They are not
I wouldn't be surprised they will. They will be.
They need to go. They played great in that Super Bowl. I don't care what nobody says. I remember watching that game. They had the Rams number.
Hands down, no question. It could have gone either way.
They had the Rams number. The Rams couldn't run the ball for nothing.
Yeah.
It was the short pass that was killing them because Cooper Kupp kept getting them short yards. OBJ got a touchdown. It was it. That was it. I felt bad for the Bengals. Other than that, I don't have much more, gentlemen. Anything else from you three?
It's so covered. The one thing we're talking about this, I think years past, we've seen more on this off, and when they're not talking about what's that thing where they check out the prospective prospects there, the event there,
The combine,
the
combine. You don't hear anything about that. In years past, you hear that. You're hearing about all this stuff about the free agency, the changing of the guards, of quarterbacks moving like chess pieces on the board.
Yes,
and I find that interesting as far as it's going to be a very interesting next season for the NFL as far as that goes.
Yeah, Tony and I kind of touched base on that. We kind of talked about that on our show when we talk football. This offseason, as far as the free agency and stuff, has been wild. Years past, you never really heard so much about it. But also, like you just said, Rich, I don't think we've had this much quarterback movement in years past. I mean, there's been key quarterbacks who, are they going to stay? Are they going to go?
But that's the one story. That's the one story. We have multiple stories. This, like you said, like when Brady, that was the only story. We have Aaron Rodgers going, but there's other quarterbacks, the three that we were just talking about. That's I don't think we've ever seen that in the past.
Well, and I think the Aaron Rodgers things. Because that's been a topic of conversation for the last 5 years. With Aaron Rodgers in Green Bay, I think most people are just kind of, here we go again, the Aaron Rodgers saga. So they're not really saying,
I like this one better than the ones in the past because
I like this. Yeah. But this offseason, because myself, I love football. I love all the aspects of football. So I typically do watch the combine, and ESPN has it on 24/7 when it's happening. And even this year, it was like, I watched it for a few minutes, and I wanted to see a couple positions, because a couple players that are coming up into the draft this year. But I didn't really pay much attention to it. As a guy who generally does really watch the combine and gears up for the draft. But I've been wrapped up in this free agency this season. It's been wild. Especially if you just want to focus on the quarterback movements and you're not talking about the wide receivers or running backs or and the defensive free agency has been wild this year as well. Which defensive players don't get a whole lot of love and a whole lot of attention. But you got defensive linemen that are getting paid this free agency. I think what's his name? Jawan Taylor went to the Chiefs and got a nice big fat paycheck. He's a lineman. And so it's definitely getting a lot of people anxious and ready for this upcoming football season.
Of course.
Because of all these crazy moves that are being made inside the league with existing players, not your up and comers. Because I would like to ask anybody. I'm trying to think. I can't think of any names right off the top of my head coming out of college outside of C.J. Stroud from Ohio State that people are really excited and talking about.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I'm hearing more about C.J. Stroud because I'm right here. And the Buckeyes are in my backyard, So.
That's good.
Gentlemen, I'm good if you're good.
Well, I got one last thing. It has nothing to do with football, but it just came up on my Twitter feed.
Let's run it.
What is it? John Wick 4.
Yes.
Comes to theaters in IMAX March 24th.
Nice. That's
so,
next weekend.
And let me ask you a bit of trivia. Do you know how many kills did John Wick do in his first movie, his second movie, and his third movie?
That has come up more than once.
That's why I got it written down.
5 million.
That has come up more than once.
No, I'll just go ahead and say it because and I wrote this down because it's an opportunity to say it, but it was 77 in the first movie. He whacked 128 in the second one, and only 94 in the third. So I'm wondering what he's going to do on this one. I love this series.
Yeah. How many different ways can you kill somebody? Let's be clear. We understand how many people he's going to fight, and he's got to fight everybody since he's excommunicado. But other than that, I love it. It's been the fight scenes have improved with every movie.
Oh God, yes.
Oh, they have improved with every movie. That's the asset. The storyline is phenomenal. The storyline is absolutely phenomenal. His connections around the globe, priceless.
Yeah. And
So I don't have a problem. I'm going to see it. Has anybody seen that new Shazam? Because they're getting destroyed on the reviews.
Well, I'm not into this. I've said this before. I'm not into the Shazam. The one movie I was looking for was Maverick, Top Gun, and no, this one movie that did get the Academy Awards, something, everything, or something like that. It's on it dropped on Paramount Plus, but you got to have the upper tier. We were looking at watching it last night, and we found that we didn't have the upper tier. So, but I did see. We did watch last weekend there the second Black Panther.
Yes,
wasn't as good as the first. It's sort of. I don't want to. I know how you like. It had some good parts and stuff like that, and I think it's interesting as far as far as the ending. The ending surprised me. It's like, ooh, okay, and go ahead, Glick.
I still have not watched that one yet.
Yeah,
don't get me started. Don't get me started.
No, I know. You're just
no,
like,
y'all are fine. Go ahead, please. Y'all are fine.
no,
it took me a while to watch the first Black Panther movie. Nothing against, because when they and we've had Tony and I and Jeff, we've had this conversation. I love when they introduced Black Panther into the Avengers movies. I think it was a phenomenal character.
Well, just the crossing on the
Marvel, and everything like that. And I really liked the first movie. I just don't know how I'm going to feel about the second one without Chadwick being there and without.
I think they do memorialize them in a sense and stuff like that, which I think was great respect.
They honored the hell out of him.
Yes, yes, and I think that's the biggest takeaway for that movie that makes it a very good movie to watch if you're a Marvel fan. We watched it yesterday. I caught up with the second Doctor Strange. That's interesting. I found that pretty interesting. I wasn't expecting. I'm not going to give anything away, but there was a part the way the storyline wasn't expecting what I was seeing. It was very interesting. What I was told is you had to watch the Superman or the Spider-Man one to explain. You could. I still got the gist of what was going on and stuff like that because they referred to previous encounters there and stuff like that Doctor Strange has with Superman or not Spider-Man, I should say.
Ant-Man and the Wasp did what Doctor Strange 2 was supposed to do.
Yeah,
but the ending of Ant-Man and the Wasp, the post-credit scene,
right,
is going to lead to that season 2 of Loki. Because
season
1 of Loki.
Okay.
Carry all of after season 1 of Loki, we was waiting on Doctor Strange to do some answers.
Okay. Yeah.
Then they get the Ant-Man and Wasp, and they start doing their thing here. I'm like, see, y'all, Marvel running us in the ground. See, Marvel, I know what you're doing. I'm actually caught on. You got me a year late. Y'all got me good, but I'm gonna run with you. I'm gonna let y'all have this one. Y'all some dirty low down sneaky somebody's, but you know what? I respect it because you got us watching. You're making sure we're paying for it, and you got us on the edge of our seats and on our toes. But we tired.
Well, they've got so much going on right now in Marvel. They're trying to introduce so much at one time with bringing, because they're supposed to be bringing the X-Men into the MCU. Deadpool's going to start to make his merge into the MCU.
Oh, that's another one I'm looking forward to coming out there. Deadpool.
Yeah. So I mean, they're trying to do a lot. They lost all their quote unquote heavy hitters. RDJ's gone. He's no longer doing Iron Man.
Well, let me just say on that note there, Glick, I got pissed off when they killed off Iron Man. He's my favorite. I grew up reading the comics, and when it's like, no.
Yeah.
So I've been a little ticked off, and I think that's more of Disney than it is Marvel. So bring in what you were just saying, bring in on all these other aspects.
Yeah, well, I know he said that he was done after the last one, but from reading up and seeing things, he's still going to. Iron Man's not dead. He's just not going to be a main character anymore. He's supposed to make. He's supposed to make some cameos. It still be a key role in some of these new Marvel movies in this new phase.
Hey, they brought back Spock.
Yeah, not being in an entire movie like he has been. It's just going to be kind of like interactions with Doctor Strange or
all of these
interactions.
movies are jumping timelines. They've been talking about that for the past 5-6 years. They're playing with the timeline a lot on a lot of these things. Like you said, they brought back Spock.
Yeah.
They brought back Thor's mom.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
What they're about to do with DC with the Flash.
Oh, that's one I haven't gotten. That
You might take their Super Bowl trailer, Super Bowl commercial when you get a chance.
Yeah,
I
that's-
remember. Okay, yeah. Okay, I recall that one.
Michael
Yeah.
Keaton is coming back as Batman. We need this in our lives.
Oh yeah. That's
We
I
need
saw
this
that.
in-
Like,
we need this in our lives.
Yeah.
We
I'm
can't-
excited to see them kind of play with the timeline in the new Flash movie. But unfortunately, no matter what DC does,
yeah.
they get torn apart on by the critics. I mean,
They're getting torn apart on by those of us who grew up on the Super Friends.
yeah,
We are all over them. We've been dying for this for 30 years.
Yeah.
you're not wrong.
We've been dying for this for 30. And I'm telling you, as somebody who used to wake up Saturday morning and be like this,
Yep.
holding the knob and the antennas with the aluminum foil on the side.
The signal.
Right before your little remote control shits was up ahead complaining about nothing on TV. I don't want to hear it. If you don't have static on your screen because you're out of channels, I don't want to hear it.
And James Gunn is absolutely getting crucified since he's come in and taken over the whole creative process and everything with DC.
Yeah.
He's getting absolutely crucified. The DC universe apart, and actors are dropped him because they don't want to work with him or whatever. So it's unfortunately for us DC fans, they're back at square one.
Yeah, it's a crapshoot.
Yeah.
Well, I think what they did with Black Adam when they had him destroying the posters, they're destroying the old Justice League ways. The same way they did.
To sort of get rid. Okay,
They got to catch it. They're destroying the old shit. They about to come
the Justice League. I saw something, a comment the last day or two. Ben Affleck, not that I follow him, but he did mention something how that was making that Justice League movie was very taxing.
Oh,
it was a very hard movie to make. Let's look at the creative side of it. That had to have been a hard movie to make with what they did do. The CGI was something over the characters, and everything that you was trying to put in to make sure that character stayed prevalent or at least maintain its historical value.
Exactly.
I did notice that originally, and I always told people I'm not going to complain about it because I know how long we've been waiting on it and how much they did do with it. Even with even with the Aquaman movie, outstanding. That was the hardest character to redo. Because how you going to show people living underwater?
Exactly. And I thought that was a fairly good movie. Yeah, I would agree. Yeah.
That movie reminded me of Black Panther.
Yep.
There were similarities.
That's a good point.
There were similarities. They weren't the same, but there were similarities. They did the underwater world. I had no complaints.
Yeah.
None. I couldn't. So what they're going to do next, I can't wait. Now, I am over anticipating. My only thing right now, bring all them Super Friends characters back. Bring them on. And everybody making Transformers, we don't know half of these Autobots and Decepticons. Y'all went on Wikipedia and you left the cartoon alone. That's what's pissing us off. I have no idea who the hell.
I don't want to get into the Transformers. It's going every which way as far as
the old heads are going to talk some junk now. All right. If all you Marvel fans can tell us what they did wrong according to the comic book, we're going to tell you what you did wrong according to Transformers and Justice League. I'm here all day. I got time. Start it up if you want to.
We know you feel certain ways about Transformers.
Huh?
We know you feel a certain way about the Transformers.
I feel a certain way about Transformers, DC Comics.
No, I'm right there with Tony too. You know, there's some of the things I'm just scratching my head. What the frick are you doing?
Yeah, and Star Trek. And Star Trek.
Well, Star Trek has its there's a couple aspects there and stuff like that. But what you were saying earlier about Loki, that's going to be interesting.
Did you watch season 1 of Loki?
Yes. Oh yeah.
Good. So look at how that ending was.
Yeah. Right now, watching Mandalorian.
Yes, I just finished watching it this morning.
Picard, and Mandalorian. I'm not a Disney. I'm not really. I don't pay for Disney Channel, so somebody else in the family's paying for it, so I'll watch it.
Don't tell everybody. Don't tell everybody. What are you doing?
No, I know. It's for my own self, I guess. But Loki was very good. Mandalorian, The 2 weeks ago, 2 episodes ago, I was pissed because they just shut it down right there. I said, "What the frick? You can't leave it there." I mean, it's just like you just right in the middle, and then where it picked up. I like the way that's going, so it's pretty decent and stuff like that. And it's entertainment, so it's we can be critics of what they're doing and stuff like that. And we have Stevie Wonder saying
Stevie
hi.
Wonder made it through. How you doing, Stevie? Thank you
What's
for being
going
here.
on, Stevie?
But yeah, I watched the last season of Man, the last episode this morning. I finished it up. I'm caught up on Picard.
Yep.
It's
Yeah,
about
that's gonna. So it's just it's interesting on some of the shows that we're seeing that we grew up with. They're especially with Picard, you're seeing some they're zipping back to fill some gaps here as far as that
They brought
goes.
some characters back, and I got they brought back some serious characters.
Yeah, so it's
characters.
In Picard they keep on mentioning Janeway. I said, when is she going to show up?
She'll show up.
Yeah, I know.
If you haven't watched Picard, since we're past the season, I'm gonna go ahead and say it. They tripped me out when they brought back Ichep. He was one of the kids that was a Borg, that was a Voyager.
Yep.
And they had a timeline where it was him and the other, the woman that had the baby on the ship with the things on her head. She was a Klingon, but she had like horns on her head.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Everybody on Voyager died except for them two.
Yeah,
they was on Voyager warping back to Earth, and it was just them two running the whole ship.
Mm-hmm.
It was a deep episode, so they brought them back. They brought Hugh back. Hugh was the boy that got transformed he got brought back to being human under Geordi and them because they found like a little rogue boy. They brought back a lot of old characters.
Yeah.
79's up there. Worf's been up there. I'm still waiting on the rest of the next generation.
Oh, this last episode of Picard, I was like, I'm like, okay, never mind. Yeah, okay, never mind. I don't want to give it away.
I told you this Friday.
Yeah, that's okay. I don't want to be a spoiler, but it was an interesting aspect, nonetheless.
It was good.
Some of these shows.
I like what they did with Q, which was phenomenal. I thought that was real good what they did with Q on season 2.
Oh, season 2. Yeah, we can talk about season 2. Yeah.
Brent Spiner ran season 2 so hard. Oh my God, he was. He might deserve an award for that season. It was good. See, look at Glick.
Look, are you a Trekkie? Do you take Star Trek? What's your?
No, I grew up. My dad watched the original Star Trek, and then he watched Star Trek. I think, and I asked Tony. I think it's Generations, right?
Next Generation. Yes,
Next Generation. Yeah.
So I know the characters.
Yeah.
I know the storyline.
Well, you never really got into it and stuff.
Yeah,
like that.
I never really got in. I'm not a big sci-fi guy.
Okay, gotcha.
So
you like Marvel?
I know the characters.
You like Marvel though, right? And DC.
Oh yeah, I love comic books.
Now that's in that realm of sci-fi in a sense.
Yeah, some aspects. So like I know the characters. I'm not going to watch Picard. I think it's really cool that they brought back a lot of these OG characters and everything like that. But I'm not going to sit down and watch. I've got too many other television shows I'm watching right now.
Right. Yeah. You got a bunch and stuff. Oh, Tony. Before I leave,
yes, sir.
I mentioned that this morning. I don't know if you watched my whole broadcast.
I was halfway through when I responded.
And we're talking about entertainment here. Let me bring this up because this is very significant because I haven't watched all of Yellowstone. That seems to be the highlight show that's being played out and stuff like that. But currently, me and the missus were watching we watched 1883. Now we're watching 1923 with Harrison Ford, who plays a great part in it. It's if you like cowboy shows with Samuel, what was he was in 1883. But this just came up on my queue here, and I'm going to be talking about it's concerning a particular black marshal, because a lot of people, and this, I think they're going to do this right because they say they're going to do it like Yellowstone and 1883. What the hell is this? Let's see. What do I got here? Let me get rid of that. What the hell is that doing it? Where is he? Okay. It was here. Oh, here it is. New Yellowstone spin-off series dramatizing life of a historical black U.S. Marshal Bass Reeves in the
Yeah, I
wild.
was just thinking, is it Bass Reeves?
Bass Reeves, and that, I
That'll be
think
good. I'll
they
watch
make that like 1883. It's going to be phenomenal. It's going to be very, very huge for the Western theater of things and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm not going to give away. I'm going to be talking about it on my podcast there Tuesday.
Go for it. I'll watch.
I'm a huge fan of American history, and the quote unquote Wild West is one of my favorite eras in American history. Bass Reeves was a bad dude. Like,
he was the marshal, man. He was the marshal.
Was a no games, no nonsense marshal, and to be a black marshal in that time period, that was a bad dude right there.
Yeah,
I'd be interested to watch that show.
Yeah, you had to be pretty much of a badass back in that time frame and stuff like that.
Yeah, you had to be from the wilderness. So Bass might have been the same guy that Denzel played when he was a marshal.
No,
well, different name, but same type of character. So they changed the names.
That could be, yeah.
I
just think a show that comes off. You look at Yellowstone, the authenticity of it, and 1923. That it's that changing of being in the old West, and it's coming to modernization and stuff like that. The current Yellowstone, it's interesting. It sort of reminds me of the old Dallas with JR, and all that stuff like that. But it's a little bit more modernized and stuff like that. It's just some very good quality entertainment stuff.
I got to get caught up on Tulsa King too. I'm trying to finish these other series out first. Y'all gonna have me flipping shows all daggone week.
Tulsa King, I can't wait till season 2 comes out on that. That's another one.
That is.
I've heard good things about it.
Tony, I told you a couple weeks ago, you and Jeff, you got to get on that Tulsa.
You said it last month. And I was hearing it from coworkers too. Everybody, like, listen, you got to check out Tulsa. I said, I will.
I mean, Sylvester Stallone, he is really. I mean, I don't think you could have got a better character.
And I like a lot of problems that some of these shows have, and this is what I've struggled with getting into Yellowstone. It's so slow.
Yeah.
And, Tulsa King from first episode, bang,
right out of the gate,
and it never slows down. I'm like, from one episode to the next, it just got better and better. It was such a phenomenal show. Stallone was amazing, and he's in fantastic shape.
Yeah.
For being almost 80 years old.
80 years old, yeah. Yes. He looks like he's in his freaking late 50s or early 60s there and stuff.
I cannot wait. My girlfriend and I, we just started watching it out of random because her dad told her that she should watch it, and we got hooked. And I was like, "There's got to be a season 2," and
there has to be. There has to be, absolutely.
We looked it up, and it was like after the 3rd episode aired, they signed the contract for season 2 because it was so popular and so successful. So I'm looking forward to that.
Paramount has this commercial where they're all on top of the mountain, and they had the original one. The second one, a version of that movie, they have Stallone sitting up there on the mountain, Mount Rushmore. So that tells you there's got to be a second season.
Yeah, Paramount's doing big things, man. I mean, they've got a lot of really good content on there. A lot of we're getting ready to start watching Mayor of Kingstown. I guess that's supposed to be really good.
That is Jeremy Renner. It's Jeremy Renner. Yeah, I heard that was good too.
Yeah, I haven't watched it. I've heard some good things about it. Just I almost was going to jump on it when it initially started, but we got tied watching something else or something like that. I've heard some good things about that. And I guess he's doing well since getting his body crushed here by that.
Yeah, after getting ran over. So
I think he's.
Yeah, I think it'll be cool to see him play that role or that character on that show, because most of us being fans of the Marvel universe, we're used to him as
Hawkeye,
the character in Marvel and the Avengers and stuff. And now you're going to see him kind of be Hawkeye. Now we're going to kind of see him kind of be like a tough guy dickhead almost. It looks like in the preview. I mean, let's be honest. I'm curious to see it.
Yeah, he was tired of DC. I saw a story about that because he said he wasn't having enough time with family.
Right.
So I'm just like, okay, go with it.
That Hawkeye show on Disney was
I never watched it. So
it was good, but it just It's just, I think it was just a way for them to bring in the next generation of DC characters with
Marvel.
Sorry, Marvel. With the girl who's going to fill in for Hawkeye.
Yes.
So I think that's all that was. But I mean, it's a good watch, but it's not like something that, oh my God, I'm gonna watch it again. Like I would watch the first season of Loki over again.
Oh yeah. Oh, definitely. Yes. That that is definitely. That blew me away, and I said, well, "Okay, I guess I will watch Disney." I mean, that sucked me into watch. It's like I got to watch it if I have if it's available and stuff, because that's a good series, because it's an aspect off the beaten path there as far as that goes and stuff like that. That's intriguing.
And Tom Hiddleston is so good as Loki, because you can hate him 1 second, and he's so good at, you're watching the movie and you hate him, but then 5 minutes later you love him. He's so good at
what other movie he was in?
What's that?
And it tripped me out. I didn't realize how many movies he had been in. He was in Kong Skull Island with Samuel L. Jackson.
Oh, really?
Oh, wow.
Because I was looking, I know half of these people. Old girl that played Captain Marvel was in it. He was in it. Sam Jackson was. There was a bunch of people in that movie. I'm like, damn.
Wow.
Yeah, but he's got a career. I mean, he's got a really good career before Marvel, but he's taking on that Loki character, and he rolls with it, man. And
he's got a jackpot spot, because Loki's going to be around for a minute, and I think they're going to start tying it into what he did on Infinity War.
That's good. Yeah.
About that.
On that gap. Yeah.
There's an Infinity War where he was like, we will see each other again. I'm like, wait a minute. And I felt it. And then I watched Loki and said, I see what's about to happen.
Exactly.
I've caught y'all now.
Mm-hmm.
I'll see thousands of worlds you have no idea of. I'm like, wait a minute. Let me see what's going on here. So,
I don't think Loki's going anywhere anytime soon. So
no, definitely not.
Gentlemen, I'm good if you're good.
Good broadcast, Tony. Good broadcast.
I appreciate
being here.
Rich, I appreciate you popping in. Plug your shows, gentlemen, please.
Go ahead, Glick.
Oh, you can catch myself and Tony with our other married band of idiots, Jeff, and whoever else decides to join us. Nonsensical Nonsense Podcast, Monday, Wednesdays, and Saturdays, 6 p.m. YouTube and Twitch. We go live. You guys can hang out in the chatters box. And you can check out all the social medias. It's really easy to find. It's all Nonsensical Nonsense Podcast. Yep. And if you find one, there's a link at the top of the bio. Click it, and it'll take you to all the magical wonders, places of nonsensical nonsense.
Magical wonders.
Rich Roberts at Fireman Rich over there on Twitter, where I post my links to good stuff. I do a Monday, Wednesday, Friday, early morning hashtag positive start today, hashtag PSTDD. Coffee for about 30 minutes, gets my day going. And I do audio podcast on Spotify for podcasters now, because Anchor's no more. Spotify owned Anchor, and they've changed their whole setup, but it's still audio, which I like to do. That's where I got my initial feet grounded to do this broadcasting bit coming into the live stream here. And I'm thankful for Tony bringing me up here on his broadcasts. It's always a pleasure to be talking with him. He's a great broadcaster as far as that goes, and it's always fun. And that's the way I look at it. It's fun coming up here, talking with Glick here, and everybody being in the chat. And if you're watching this on the replay, thank you very much.
Absolutely. Y'all know where y'all going to find me everywhere. You want to know where to find me at? There's a link tree. I'm not going to break down everything, because everybody told me I need to stop doing it. So I've shared the link out on Twitch to my airtime folks. If you all want to catch the replay, everybody out there watching, checking us out, I should be back sometime soon. There's no telling. Like I said, it's the off season. It's going kind of easy right now. We are primarily for fantasy football, sports talk, stats, numbers, teams. We do it all. We cover all the bases. Join us. The door is always open. Gentlemen, good morning and good afternoon to you all. Happy Sunday to everybody. Talk to y'all soon. Definitely catch me tonight, probably on the Sunday Night Smoke podcast. My man Ace Roy, 7:30-ish, depending on how his schedule is running. You can see me on Late Night Parents. My man Ted Hicks. Wait to follow the show. Teddy.com. Catch me with my man Fireman Rich over here. He does his morning coffee every now and then. I jump up there in the chat. Follow Randy Horton. He's on YouTube right now. Randy W. Horton.
Yeah, I see that. Yep.
I follow that dude. I get people behind me. I don't know what the hell's going on.
He's a
Follow
good dude.
man.
Good guy. Good guy.
Where else am I at? Jesus. I'm all over the place. I do my own broadcasting, the Random Multi Broadcaster. You'll see it on Twitch. You'll see it on Linktree. You'll see it on Twitter. When I do my music broadcast, I did a little go-go on Baltimore Club Music last night. Glick, I don't need your mouth. I wish you would, because I'll get on you later.
Where's Tony? Tony's at
Yeah.
Tony Tone 163. There he
That's on
is.
Twitter. Absolutely. Gentlemen,
I'm just saying, man. I mean,
no,
really?
it was new to y'all. I already know. I just wanted to.
Really?
I get on you all take care. I'm gonna get on his case in a minute, and I'll talk to y'all later on. Oh, I'm also on TikTok, TONY19723. I tend to go live up there every now and then. I might go live on Instagram. I might check out Heckle today. I don't know. I feel like doing a couple 30-minute segments over there just to shoot the breeze. Not a problem. Everybody be good. Stay out of trouble. Think before you act. All that good stuff. Talk to y'all later.